everybody, welcome to Lisa's Art Room. Today we're going to be working some more on my cute country junk journal. Y'all come in and say hi, let me know you're here. We are currently live on Facebook if you see the little red button at the top left. If not, you're catching a replay either here or on YouTube. I'm going to get you guys pulled up so I can see chat and make sure our volume is okay. It's being slow. Okay, make sure sound's okay. Seems okay. All right, so, hey Dawn. Whew, I'm hot. It's hot in here. It's like, if it's like over 90 outside, the inside of the house just won't cool down, and I'm melting. It's like the furnace, or the heater, the air conditioner is set on like 74 or something, but it's still like 80 in here. Thanks for letting me know the sound is good, Dawn. I appreciate that. All right, let's see. So today I'm going to do some interactive stuff. I've got a few ideas on how many I'll get to. Some of them I saw on My Porch Prints, and they're similar. They're not exactly the same, but they're very close. So I will link her in my YouTube description when I post that. Because it's just the best place to put all the stuff, and plus Facebook gets erased after a while. So I will link all her stuff so that you know where I got the inspiration from, and we're gonna just wing it and see if we can do it. Hopefully I can. I tried to make some little prototypes, and hopefully I'm ready. So anyway, I'm tired. Crazy. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this camera up top and we will get started. So bear with me just a minute while I do that. Straight, almost. All right. Make sure the lighting's good. So I'm going to do the hardest one first, because just in case I fail at it. So this idea has been around a while. It's basically, I don't know what it's really called. I just searched line art to colored line art. Basically what the deal is, and I could kind of show you the one I did, which we're going to remake, just so you know what I mean, because it's not really finished. But the idea is you have a pocket with some acetate and some line art, and then when you lift it, it turns colored. Okay, and there's more to it than this, but I have to finish it. But so that's what we're going to try to do, and hopefully I can figure it all out. And then if I get to the other one, I've got like a page in here I cut a hole in. I think it's this one. Yeah. So this one has a hole on it on both sides because I just threw it on my die cutter, and unfortunately it only takes 6 inches across. And I don't have a hole punch this big. But this is for one of the spinny things, you know, where you wind it up and it spins. Which I also have a prototype too. Somewhere. Where did I stick it? Where did I stick it? No telling. Like I said, kind of crazy today. Unorganized. I don't know why. I just am. It was here a minute ago. And now it's not. Anyway, it's a spinny thing. Well, you'll see when I do it. It's where you have a piece of thread and it spins around, okay? So if we can, I'll get to both of those, and then like a hidden pocket thing, but we'll see what I get to. So the first thing I gotta figure out is where to put this little illusion thing. I'm thinking like maybe a red page or something that will go along with that. I don't want to put it in here because this is where I'm going to do the wind up one, and I think it's already kind of bulky, although it's not super bulky. Let me see what the back looks like. So it would look really cute next to this, I think. Like here. Is that the last page? No, not quite. Okay. Maybe I'll put it here. This is that envelope thing I did, where I decorated the envelope. I think if I put a pocket here or something, or maybe just glue it straight to the page, that it would look cute with this because it is barn themed and all that. You know, even better maybe there, but I don't know if I want to go, I don't want to go that close to that, so I think I will go here. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll just put them both in this one. I think this one, I don't think there's a spot in here. I didn't do a lot of red pages. Yeah, this one's, it's a little bulky. They're all starting to bulk out a little bit. We're getting there. Oh, yeah, this red one's in the middle, and I definitely don't want to do it in the middle. All right, so this one wins, so to speak. So we're going to put all this away for now. All right, so I got to figure out how to make this little envelope, because I'm going to make it again because mine's kind of messed up. Like I said, it was a prototype and I just kind of winged it. So it's not even glued together or anything. So I'm going to just cut it out, and I kept running into all kinds of issues, like size wasn't right, it wouldn't, my little tabs on the side weren't right, and yeah, nothing was lining up. It's always something, right? So I kept it so that I could pull it apart. All right, I only put a teeny drop of glue there. All right, so we got our two pieces here. This is one piece. So I need to cut this. I need this to be slightly bigger. It was a little bit too small. So, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do these tabs. So I'm just going to pull that off real quick. So, the first thing I'm going to do is make the pocket, and then we'll figure out all the rest of it as we go. Now, like I said, I will link the My Porch Prints one, and she has cool printables and all of that you can do to make this with. Very similar style. Like I said, I did kind of just make this up from scratch, but I made it based on her, so. But I'm not using any of her printables or anything like that, because honestly, they just didn't match my theme. Or I probably would have went ahead and bought that. So support her and buy stuff. I buy stuff from My Porch Prints all the time. They're awesome. So, you know, if you want to make something like this, go check out her little printable. And like I said, I'll link it on the thing. It's hard to link on Facebook. So anyway, let's see. I think I'm going to stick with the red. I think I like that. So I think I have a piece already kind of cut. Yeah, here's one. I think that this will fit. Yeah, okay. So we're going to cut it from this. Like I said, just slightly bigger, because it's just a fraction small. The tabs I don't need to worry about, so that's okay. I just need the opening to be a little bit bigger. So I think what I will do is, I'm just going to fold this. Now, if you want measurements and everything, I kind of winged it on measurements, so I don't know. Let's see, where's my ruler? We are looking at, for the base piece, you're looking at 4 1/4 wide by 6 inches long. And I don't think I had any issue with the length, so 4 1/4 wide by 6 inches long. And then the window, this window size is fine. The issue I had is my line art because when I did my stamp, I didn't get it centered, and so mine was kind of going off to the right a little too much when it was in there. So I need to make sure that I move that over a little bit on my next one. So the window's fine. The height is fine. So I'm just going to make a line. I'm going to cut this at 6. I'm just going to mark it because I don't know. What did I say, 6? That doesn't sound right. Was it 9? You know it ain't 6 because look at it. Wrong one. It must have been a 9. I'm looking at it upside down. It was a 9. 9 inches, not 6. I was like, that's not logical. By 4 1/4. So scratch what I said at first. 9. It's not a 6. It looks like a 6 this way, but it's not. Okay. So let's go ahead and cut this to size. I'm just going to use this piece, so I'm going to fold it and mark it. Wrong way. I'm doing great today, aren't I? I had somebody comment on one of my videos that I was very unorganized and hard to follow. It's like, oh, oops. I try not to be. Most of the time I don't think I am, but she was totally right. On that particular one, I was all over the place, and I was like, I was having a bad day. I had technical issues, and you know, there's always something. So I think the inside frame is fine. So I'm just going to trace it. Now, technically, it's going to drop it down just a little bit, but I don't think that was an issue. Yeah, no, I think I'm plenty high enough, so I'm just going to trace it to make life easier. Hopefully it works. If I can draw a straight line. And then, like I said, I just want this fold mark to be slightly over. So I want it to be, let's see, because it just wasn't pulling in and out very well. It's right now, it's like 3 1/2. I think I'll do 3 5/8. Is that right? 1, 2. Oh my gosh, I can't read. What am I looking at? Oh, I'm looking at the center part. 3 3. No, 3 1/4. 3 3/8. 1, 2, 3. 3 3/8. I think that will work. Because these tabs on the side don't really matter how big they are as long as you can glue them down. That's really all that matters. I'm probably just going to mark it, guys, because I really don't feel like measuring. So I'm just going to add like a 1/16 of an inch. Not much, just a fraction. If I can find the line. So just a little bit there, a little bit there. It's like I'm adding like a 1/16, kind of, sort of. Hopefully I'll get it straight. All right, and then the height is fine. I probably need to make sure I cut it further because this fold is gonna make it smaller. So I'll just cut it a little bit taller than this. Cut both of these at the same time. It's just going to be much easier. So like I said, I'm not doing the little tab part. If you were doing the tab part, figuring out where it goes is kind of tricky because it has to, your card has to fit the window, and then the tab has to be outside if you're doing a tab. I think it's easier just to add it last. So that's what I'm going to do. It seemed easier for me. So, first thing I'm going to do is draw this line. So from here to, if I can line it up, this fold is not perfectly straight. It's fine. It'll be fine. Don't stress about it. So this is where my, boy, those are way different. This is where my fold's gonna go. Like I said, it just needed to be tiny bit wider. Not much. I know I don't need this height, but I'm just gonna draw it all the way. Do this way. Can't really see see that line, but we know it's, looks like it's about 1/2 inch from the edge. I don't know why that mark's so far off. I'm sure it's me. I guess it's about, what did I say, 3 3/8? I did. I'm just going to go 3 3/8. 1, 2, 3, because I can't see that line. 3 3/8 from there. And 3 3/8 from here. So I apologize if I'm all over the place sometimes. It happens. I try not to be, like I said, but you know, sometimes life is difficult. And then here, so that looks like, what did I say? Let's just measure this. It is right at 4.5. Make sure that's right at 4.5. It is. So we'll just go all the way to the edge here so I can cut it easier. I think the hardest part is just figuring out the size of this. That's why I said just go buy. I'm trying to think which girl it was. Because there's 3 girls on My Porch Prints. I think it was Kira, but I'm not 100% sure who did that one. They all do their own little projects. Okay, so that's how that should look, I think. It looks a little bit off there, doesn't it? It really does. What is wrong with that? So this is that line. So that is 5, 1, 2, 3, 5/8. This one is pretty much 5/8. Where's my 5/8 mark? This one is not 5/8. So it is off. It's, my eyes are failing me. So we're gonna fix this line. So it's, I just want the frame part to be somewhat straight. All right, does that look better? I think that's better. This line is messing with me because I drew it crooked. I don't want to hit the wrong one. My pencil's kind of dull, and it's hard to get a straight line when your pencil's dull. All right, so there. So that'll be the front piece. Let's make sure it looks approximately right and just slightly wider. Yeah. Okay, that should be fine. So we're going to cut this out. We don't need all this. If you want the tabs, then you need it, but I'm not going to worry about the tabs. I'll just do it this way. Those are the same height, right? Yep. Okay. Knife. Hey, Angela. I didn't see you come in. All right. Hopefully I'm doing this right. I might hold my breath. All right. Don't need that. So this is a tab to fold over. On the back you don't have it, which I'll just cut after. So this needs mitered, so we're just gonna draw lines. It's just so it folds in better. So I'm just gonna miter lines, kind of like this. Which way? This way. All right. So we can do that probably with scissors. Our little miter. Now, I did find that cutting this back piece a little bit narrower than this, where the fold is, helps, because otherwise it kind of tries to not fold right. So I'm going to score that to make it easier, and then I'll cut out this, and then I'll cut the back. I might just measure that because I don't think I can see this line. Oh, maybe I can see this line if I do this. At least I can get part of it. Line up. So from here to here. said, a little bit, I think a little narrower. This one I can just mark here. I'm just going to come in just a tiny, tiny bit. And then, technically, it's kind of on this point. So we're just going to make it on that little point. Hope it's right. All right. Like I said, it just has to be tiny, tiny bit smaller. So, just go ahead and cut it. Should I? Should I? Should I? Sure. It'll be fine. Right? There's one. Hopefully I'm not being confusing. I'm trying not to be confusing. Can't tell if that's lined up. My line on the bottom's pretty straight, so maybe. All right, let's see how it closes, if it looks like it's about right. I think so. If it doesn't close, we'll just cut some more off of it. So I'm going to score that so I can fold it easier, and then we'll cut out the window. Alright, so I'm going to score this. I just have a black line drawn on here because when you're doing from point to point, it's so much easier just to follow the little line than to try to line up one of these marks. It just really is. There's a possibility I could use that cutter to cut the middle out, but I think I'm just going to use my X-Acto. Alright, so that folds in like this. And like this, and then we just want to make sure that with this closed it will still fold in and not wrinkle. And see, it's puckering. See what it's doing when I try to do it? It's forming like a pucker. That means this needs cut a little bit more. So we're just going to slice off a tiny bit more of that. I'm going to do it on both sides so it's even. I'm only doing like a 16th, if that. I'd say a 16th. So, just has to be a little smaller. Alright, now let's make sure that it'll close properly and not buckle. Alright, that's better. Alright, now we're going to cut out the middle. I think I'll use my, oh no, I might use this one. I have a hard time with, for some reason, when I use this one, I hold it slightly crooked or something, and I always get offline on these straight lines, and I don't know why. This one I tend to keep a little straighter. So I'm going to cut this side so I can see the lines. I think that this is, let me just kind of see if my image looks, like I said, I need to move my image over a little bit, so on my new one I'll do that, but I think this is fine size. It should be the same as the other one, so it should be alright. Alright, so I'm going to go point to point, hopefully not go over. If you start from the outside edge with your tip, you'll have cleaner edges, so don't go all the way to your point when you do it. If you really want a nice clean edge. Now if you have a die cut, you might could just throw a square die cut in here, and if it'll fit, or make your project to that size. That's always an option. But if you don't, just don't go quite to it, and then you can finish it off when you get to the end. I find that you get just cleaner corners. of the same when you're doing like a specimen card or something. It almost is like a specimen card envelope, honestly. Alright, so there's that, and then I just have to finish off the little corners. Just kind of come in, touch them. Just kind of figure out which direction it is. But I guess that one's fine, this one. And what's missing? This one's a little tiny bit. Is it? Still holding. It's hard. For this part, this is easier. Alright, I can hold it like a pencil. There. And where's that one catched? Right here. Alright, and that just gives you much cleaner corners where you don't go over. You know how sometimes when you're cutting out the corners, you go over too far and you end up with those lines. So if you do it that way, you don't get those, which is nice. Okay, so let's make sure this looks good in there. Yeah. So I just got to figure out where to cut my acetate. So I went ahead and stamped this. I'll stamp it so you can see, because I kept having issues with it not. It just wasn't stamping for me. Because my tables are just a little warpy, and if you don't have a good flat surface, magic thingy, whatever it's called, misty. So I want this to fit so that my picture is right where I want it to be and is straight. So I'm just going to lay this on top. I think I'll tape it. Just a little bit of tape. And a little bit of tape. And then I'm going to trace this part. So for this part, this comes in a lot because it's got these little tabs at the bottom. The purpose of these little tabs is to keep it from pulling out at the top. So when you're making it, you have to make sure that this fits inside your window, okay? And your tabs come all the way out. So I have to remake this a little bit wider because I changed the size of the envelope a little bit. Just the tab part. I'm going to leave this the same size because I like that size. So I'm going to make the tab part a little bit wider, I think. Yeah. Sorry, I'm still really kind of figuring this out as I go. I think I'm trying to figure out where to cut this. I think about, looks like about 1/4 of an inch in. Where to put the ruler? It's visible. I can't see it. Is that about 1/4? It's about 3/8. Not quite. It's more like, I don't know what, I mean, 1/16 that is, but a lot. It's just over 1/4. I could probably do 1/4. Honestly, though. So you want it to be a little bit smaller so it pulls out easy. Yeah, I think 1/4 of an inch should work. Alright, so I'm going to use a Sharpie so I can hopefully see it. So I'll make a mark at 1/4 of an inch there. And I don't guess I need that. 1/4 of an inch here. I'm just going from the fold. 1/4 of an inch here. And that'll give you room for what? I don't know what I was looking at, but that side is not right. What were you looking at? Okay. 1/4 of an inch here. I'll just erase that. That's weird. Let me hold this up again. Yeah, it was totally me, wasn't it? I'm gonna make this bigger. Just a teeny bit bigger. Well, so 1/4 inch on each side should be right. 1/4 inch from the fold, 1/4 inch. Okay. Now you don't want any black lines to show up, so you can erase them with a alcohol swab. Sometimes you can just rub them off, but just make sure you either cut outside of it or erase them, because the black lines showing up will kind of mess up with the illusion. Alright, so that's the size of the card. And then here, not on this acetate, but on the other piece, there's going to be a tab here. Do I have room for the tab? Oh, look how crooked that is. My measurements are not, they're just not working. I don't know why. It's my brain or something. It's still crooked. This piece needs to come over. Goodness gracious. What are you doing wrong? Alright, I'm just going to come over. I got to have room for the tab, so I'm just going to come over a little bit. I don't know what the measurement is. Don't ask me. It's just going to be what works. Alright, so, can't even see the line. Sometimes the Sharpie doesn't work. It doesn't particularly like acetate, but it will work. Alright, so not the outside line, only the inside line. And then I'm going to move this one over. Okay. Should I just erase it and start over? No. You should not, because if you do, you're going to regret it. Let me see if my eraser will work on this. Where are you, eraser? Will you work on this? You will work enough that I can know you're not the right line. It actually does erase. This is one of those, I don't know, Tombow? Yeah, Tombow Mono Zero. It's a little teeny tiny eraser. Works really well. Alright, so that looks the same now, right? Yeah, that looks the same. Okay. Yeah. So, like I said, it needs a tab. So I'm just going to draw the tab on here because I'm not going to cut the acetate. It doesn't need a tab on the acetate, but it needs a tab on the other thing. So I'm just going to draw it because I won't, that way I hopefully won't forget it when I'm doing the other piece. If you forgot the tab, I suppose you could just glue one on. But it wouldn't be ideal. Alright, so I think that works. It needs to be height-wise, I feel like it was a little bit shorter. Yeah, a little bit shorter. So this will come to about here because it's not going to go all the way down. It just won't. Does that mean I should pull that tab up? No, because that's fine. Okay, I'm just going to draw a line. It needs to be, it's not even with, hold on, I'm questioning myself. Yeah, no, it's lower. I don't remember why it's lower. I think it's because of the glue here. So there's glue there, and when you slide it between your white page, it doesn't go all the way down. So I think that's why. That makes sense, right? That makes sense. I know this acetate is moved, but I just need to make it just a little bit shorter. So about, yeah, that should be good. About there. So, this is the most confusing tutorial ever. It's not, but it kind of is. It was confusing to me. I had to watch her video like 10 times before I got it. Okay, so here's our asset. I'm going to stamp one of these just so you, I mean, it's just stamping, guys. It's not complicated, but it's only complicated if your stamp isn't giving you a good crisp image. And that's going to mean you need your table surface to be a good, you know, flush table surface. I'm going to assume that this stops at the right point. I can't tell. My lines look a little weird, but we're just going to make a line. All right, that should be right. Let's see if it looks similar to this. It does look similar. I think my tab needs to be a little higher though. Let's make it just a fraction higher. So this is just a little tab. The little tab cannot go beyond your I still think it's going to be crooked in there, but that's okay. It cannot go beyond your fold. So I'll just make sure that that's not any wider than that. All right, so something like that. Got lots of lines there. One of them is correct. This eraser is very helpful. It's less messy than using alcohol. All right. Now we're going to cut that out, and so I stamped this on a transparency sheet, and mostly because I happen to have a ton of them. But you could also just use acetate from packaging. One of these clear packages would work just fine. Anything that your stamp will stamp on that's clear. But, you know, I had all these acetate transparency sheets from many, many, many years ago. So many years ago. Like, I don't know, the 90s. So I had this I bought a long time ago when I was doing murals. And it's a write-on. It's not a printable one. A printable one would be ideal if you want to print an image. If you're doing Kira's project, you definitely need a printable one, and she said that she had one for linked on her Amazon, so you can look that up. But I used that, and I used my archival ink. You could also use StazOn. I didn't have any black StazOn, or I probably would have tried that because it dries slightly faster, I think. But this worked fine. And then this stamp is from the same company that my papers are from. I just happen to have it, amazingly, if I can find it. Oh my gosh, I'm so... There's just so much stuff everywhere, guys. My room is a disaster because I've got the train stuff going on. I've got this going on. Babysitting going on. Alright, where is the... I found the stamps, I just can't find it. Packaging. Packaging, where are you? There you are. Whew, I am melting. Okay. It is the Carta paper. Farm to Table. This is from one of the papers I'm using. I don't remember which one. Which one was it? Do y'all remember? Sometimes y'all remember better than I remember. I think it was this one. I'm using this Carta paper from House Living. It's the one that's got the beautiful paper. It's the textured paper that's so nice. So it's this one. It's not the cutesy one, but that's okay. But a similar theme. And I loved this little barn. think it's cute. There's a lot of other things on there. If you're looking to buy one, I'll try to put the number on my link on the YouTube. If I can find a link to it, I'll put it, but sometimes I can't find a link. I don't know where I got that from, honestly. I honestly do not remember. It's been too long. So anyway, take this, get your transparency paper. I'm not going to get a whole new sheet out, but because I've already got one that finally printed okay. I tried like 4 times before I got one that was good. So like I said, my table's kind of warpy. Anyway, so just stamp it. Don't wiggle it. Try to make sure that when you stamp it, you just put it down. Don't move any, because it will slide more because of the acetate. Try to make sure you got a good impression and lift it up. See, it's not perfect. So just keep trying until you get it right if you're going to do it. Clean this off with my microfiber thingy. Oh, it's a chamois. This works really well. All right, so just keep doing that till you get a good one. I just did it in the middle of a piece of acetate so that I could just cut it where I wanted it and didn't have to worry about making sure it was in the perfect spot. It's just easier to do it that way, I think. But anyway, so that's how I got this image. It tends to take a second or two for that to dry, but it's already dry, so it dries pretty good. We're going to cut this out. Hopefully I won't mess it up. If you have a hard time seeing to cut it out, you can tape it to paper. That does work rather well. Then you can see what you're cutting. You know what I mean? I just cut it at the same time. What time is it? Oh my goodness. I hope this doesn't take too long. So I'm going to do that because I don't want to deal with that. Now, as you cut, your pieces are going to fall off. Just be aware. Unless you happen to have a piece that just happens to stay, but it's probably just going to fall off. Try to get it flat. It's not flat. Bubbled on me. Right there. So I'm just taping it to make it a little easier to see, because what is this? Oh, this is my instructions. Not that it's a big deal, but I just printed these out off of, I did a search and I found the exact thing, basically. It tells you how to do it. I'm sure it's slightly different. It just basically says to make a pocket, do clear acetate, use Carta markers to color your subject, construct it, reveal by pulling. The only difference is this doesn't have the little tab thingy, which I think is an excellent idea. So let me find a piece of white paper that's not... Here, I'll just use the transparency sheet one. This is my in-between sheet from the transparency. So that'll work. All right. So you could probably cut this with a knife. I don't know. I don't know if I'd trust it. I'm just going to use scissors. So I'm going to attempt to... Oh, you know what? Hold on. I want to get this... I don't know if I can do that. I was going to say I was going to cut out the card piece, but I can't really do that. So I may actually... No, I can't use the other one. It's not the right size. I'm going to have to color it again. That's okay. It did take a little while, though. All right, so we're just going to wing it. I am going to cut the tab, although you do not need the tab on the acetate, because I'm going to cut it because I want to know where it is. I don't want to forget it on the other piece. So I'm just going to try to stay on the line best I can. Like I said, it's going to move as you cut, unless you retape. Stick in my hand. But I think this is the easiest way, because seeing these lines on this acetate is very difficult. It's trying to wiggle on me. Let's see if I can get this piece to drop. There's a piece hanging there, but I can't. There, I found it. Okay. So now we need to cut out the piece for the other image, and you have to stamp again. Oh, I have to stamp again. Okay, I have to stamp again. I was thinking I was going to use that, honestly, guys, but it's fine. It's fine. I changed the size, so I'm just going to do it on white paper, cardstock. Grab a piece. I don't know if it has to be cardstock. What do you think? Yeah, it really needs to be cardstock. It's just firmer. Okay, so I'm just going to do it in the middle because I want to, well, kind of close to the middle. So I want to put a stamp here, ideally, and then cut it out. So I'm just kind of seeing where I need my stamp to be, approximately. Because like I said, it's easier just to put your stamp first and then cut it out, because you'll never get it in exactly the right spot otherwise. So somewhere about here. Let's see if we can actually get this to work. I have a board somewhere that I typically use. Let's see, do you see it? Do you see it? This might be it. My table's just not super even. It's a little warpy because, you know, it's just a folding table. Let's see if that helps. Alright, so see, about here should be good. Make sure I got all of it on there. It's not as important because you're coloring it, but, you know, helps if it's on there good. Okay, good. Went on there. Thank you very much. Okay. So now we're going to cut this out. Make sure it's dry. I think it's dry, but I don't want to smear it. All right, so we're going to line it up. Now, I'm not going to cut this out exact at first until I line it up and glue it, because I'll never get it exact. So, pencil or something. We'll just use a pencil. So, I'm going to give myself a little bit of room in case I mess up. So, first I'm just going to, I think I'm going to try to get the top line even. Because the top line I can line up to. So I'm just going to trace that. And then for this part, I'm just going to cut just a little bit outside, if I can stay on the acetate, a little bit outside of the edge. Now this I do need the little tab, and then I can cut that tab off. That way if I don't line it up perfect, I've got room. Because you got to line the image up. It looks lined up, but who knows if it'll stay. It's very hard to draw a line with acetate. Okay, I think I got it. All right. So this is the image we'll color. So like I said, I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger right now. And then I can trim it to fit. The only thing I'm going to make exact is the top, I think. Just the top line. Hopefully I've got enough room to turn it if I need to turn it. But the rest of it I'm going to give myself a little more room. Because I want to be able to attach it. Okay, so like that. I can't attach it before I color it though. But the idea is that then I line this up perfectly. Once it's lined up perfectly, you can tape it down and trim it out. Okay, but I'm gonna color this first. We're gonna put this and not lose it. I'll stick it there. Okay, what time is it? Ooh, told you it's gonna take me forever. All right, so I just used color pencils. You could probably use markers, I guess. I didn't have a whole lot of marker colors for some reason, but I do have a decent amount of colored pencils, so. I'm not using the Tim Holtz ones because they just don't have good points. So I have those Tim Holtz ones. I'm just using my Prismacolor because I had decent colors in here. So I've got a couple of reds, a couple of greens, a brown, and this silver. Do I have another silver? I thought about silver or gold for the windmill. I think silver's probably best. I was trying to find another one because this point's horrible. It's a Crayola, but it's probably fine. Let me see how dark it gets. Yeah, it's fine. All right, we'll use the Crayola. If this was sharp, I'd use it, but it's not. All right, so I think, oh, what color that is? Jet black. All right, I might need black too for the roof. I think that's all I need. I wasn't sure what color to do those little, I guess they're vents, but it's fine. So just color in your barn, whatever color you want it. So one of these reds is slightly darker than the other, and I figured if I did the darker one on the section that was more in shadow, then it would look a little more shaded and all that. So we're just going to color this in real quick. I'll try to go somewhat quick. Coloring takes forever, you know. Let me zoom in because I'm kind of far out. There. I'll try to stay in camera. So I'm just coloring. Like I said, markers, whatever works for you. I think I might make these little tops red. I did them brown earlier, but I think I'm gonna make them red. I think it'll look better. That'll look more like, I don't know, brick or something. They may be silver. I don't know what color they would be. I am not an expert on that. So this is a little bit lighter red. That way it'll look like the light's hitting this front. That is red, right? Yeah, it says poppy red. It looks a little orangey. That's okay. I just want it to look slightly different than the other side. I could layer it with the other piece. The other color, I guess. But I think it's fine. I'm trying not to get too many lines. There are ways to color using the sides of the pencil. It's a little bit better, but I'm not gonna be that picky. Now, if you don't want shading, you could always just do one color red. Between that window. I think it's slightly too orange. I'm going to take just a little bit of this on it. I don't want to go quite as dark as this side though. Just a little darker. That way it looks like light's hitting the front of the barn. Artist in me, sorry guys. I can't not do it. I can, but it's hard. It's hard not to do it. There. Let me get two different colors of red. All right, and then the roof I think should be black. That's brown. That's, God, I can't see these colors. They're very hard to see in here. Oh, this is a pencil. I must not have had a, did I not have a Prisma? This is extra black, and this is jet black. I don't guess it matters. Yeah, I must not have had a Prisma one. I probably did at one point, but who knows where it is. That's fine, we'll use this one. Whatever it is. Alright, so I'll just color in our image. Sorry it takes so long. Like I said, I had planned on using the one I had already colored, but that did not work out. And I'm just going to do the windows black. And I'm going to do the entrance. I'm going to do it dark red, but I'm also going to put a little bit of black over it because I want it to be kind of in the shadows, but it would have a little bit of red to it, I think. There's not a door there, I don't think. It doesn't look like there's one. It looks just like it's open. But I'm going to put the black over the top of it just to make it a little bit darker. It's in the shadows. There's that. Okay, there's a tree branch there. Is that brown? A little tree branch. It's an odd looking tree branch. I don't know why. It's got a weird line on it. I don't know why. I think I wanted to do black there. Where's the black? I forgot to do it between the red. Okay, a couple different color greens. Doing these kind of circular. So it looks more tree-like. If you see any lines. The other one I wanted to do a darker green. So they're not just the same. I might do a little bit of shading on this one. It's kind of okay, and then for the ground, probably the lighter one. Just a little bit of ground color. Not much, just enough. And the windmill, we're going to do this silver color. Okay, I think I got everything. Yep, looks good. All right, so let me zoom in and back out so I can cut it. So now we want to take our acetate. We're going to glue a teeny little line at the top and glue this down so it is exactly in line. Now I am going to use canopy glue. You can use art glitter or whatever, but keep in mind art glitter on acetate can be peeled apart. It does not really stick forever. Canopy glue tends to work really well on plastics because it's made for modeling. This is the one I have. I got it from Amazon. But it's made for like plastic modeling stuff, so it works real well on acetate. So just use something that's not going to peel apart. You could probably even use double stick tape, but it might grab a little, you know, when you're putting it in and out. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the glue first. Hopefully I'm at the right size. I don't know. So just a little line at the top. This is kind of a wet glue. It's not super wet, but I put it in this little bottle. Get too much there. Let's wipe that off. Just for ease. I got these from Hobby Lobby. All right, so And when I put this acetate on, I'm just going to make sure that my image is lined up. And you have a minute to move it if it's not. Does it look good? I think that actually looks really good. So I'm going to push the glue toward the top so it does not move down even further. It'll ooze out onto the table a little bit. That's okay. We can fix that. All right. Don't move. Helps if you don't move it because it takes a second to dry. Not too long, but it does take a second. All right, so try not to move it. We're gonna let that dry just for a second or two. And we're gonna work on the other card. So you need a card that it slides into. Where'd it go? This one here. Now this has to fit inside here and low enough that the piece doesn't affect it. So it's a little bit lower, like the same as the other piece. It has to be a little bit lower. And then just slightly narrower so it doesn't, you know, cause any issues. I could probably make this just a fraction wider. Because it can come over to the edge as long as it doesn't catch. All right, so I got to make another one of these, I think. Because this one, I don't know, it's not really wide enough. I could probably get away with it, honestly. But I'll make another one while we're waiting for that to dry. So it's just cardstock. So I'm just going to make it a tiny bit wider because that's what we changed. I changed the width. I need all these pencils in my way. 500 pencils. I'll put them back later. I just need one pencil. Where's the one pencil? Okay. So we're going to cut this about there. And the height's fine. Get there where I'll hit you. I'm just going to cut this off. It's in my way. Go this way. All right. This piece, this is basically the little piece that gives you the illusion, kind of. So you just want to glue a teeny tiny bit at the base of the window. So it'll go like this, okay? So the glue needs to be at the base of the window. And I'm just going to use art glitter for this. I'm going to put the glue on the card. So just a tiny bit, as low as you can get it so it doesn't affect anything. Okay, and then try to get it lined up with everything. You know how art glitter is, so you don't have much time. Just try to make sure it's in there right and it's not affecting anything. Okay, I think that's good. Feels all right. All right, you think that canopy glue's dry? Let's see, what do you think? Pretty dry. All right. So now we can cut this out. Like I said, I do not need the tab on the acetate, but I do need the tab on the other part. Now, having the tab on the, I don't know if it would really affect anything, but it might. So I'm going to cut it off. Just on the acetate. Probably should cut all these lines or erase them, as you will see them. I might, maybe I can erase it. I should have thought of that first, probably. I think I can erase it. I think I can erase it. meant to get on the inside so it wasn't showing, but I didn't. So I'm just going to try to erase it. Hopefully I'm not erasing anything else. I don't think this line shows. So, yeah, it's probably just this one at the top. All right, I think that's all just the other part. All right, so you want to make sure you keep your tab. I think it's about this wide. It's just a little bit. Keep the tab. About here. Keep the tab. And we're just going to try to stay. Hey, Deborah. Oh, you haven't been feeling well? I'm sorry, hon. That's no fun. Just go up to the tab. Don't cut your tab off. Use little ones because I have more control. Somebody's down there eating. I guess they didn't want to wait for me. I can hear them cutting stuff. Hope this is right. It's one of those projects, you know, where I really haven't done it enough to feel super comfortable. Okay. All right, let's see how it fits. Make sure it fits right. Let me get this on before it dries up. All right, let's see. So what you do is you sandwich it in between, like so. And you want to make sure it's centered and it's not hitting anywhere. So this looks like it needs cut off just a tiny, tiny bit right there. It looks like it might catch just a little, so I'm just going to cut a tiny, tiny bit off there. And then I think that's good. All right, so it's going to go like that. That's going to glue like that. It's pretty much in the window. It's still a little further right than I wanted. I don't know why I keep doing that. But size-wise, it's good. It's hitting where I want it to hit there, just barely below. So that is good. All right, so we're going to put a tab here to grab hold of. Now, I don't have one cut. I need to make one. So I have some circles. They might be the right size. Let's see. What do I got? I have this plaid. One of these I was going to use a doily paperclip thingy. Hidden paperclip. I think I'm going to use this plaid maybe. I think I want this one for the doily. Although I do have two of them technically. But let's see if the plaid looks good. So if I do the plaid, it's just going to stick out at the top just a little bit like this. That'll work. I think I like that. Okay. So we gotta cut it in half, thereabouts. Doesn't have to be exact. So we're going to try to fold it on a line, ideally. I think I'll score it. You know I'm never going to get that to work. So it may not be perfectly in half. You think I can tell? I have no idea. Without folding it, let's try not to fold it. Because you know it's not going to fold right. I'm just going to make a little point because I don't want a weird, ugly crease. Alright, so right about there. Alright, I'm going to try to get it straight on that line then. That should be effective. Where's my little thingy? There it is. Is that on the line? Alright. Yeah, it's totally not even. What? I can't score. Which side's too big. I have no idea what I did there, but we're going to move it over a little bit because it's bad. It's not a big deal. You don't really see both sides, I guess, at the same time, so it's not the end of the world if it doesn't line up, but we're going to attempt to make it line up. Okay, tap. Uh-oh. I have to cut it anyway. Okay, brain. You want it to be the same size as this, if I'm thinking correctly. So it's a little bit big for this. So I'm just going to wing it. I guess I have to cut it in half. I was thinking I didn't, but I do. I do have to cut it in half. Why was I thinking I didn't? I have no idea. I have no clue. Okay, let's see. Let's make sure we can cut this somewhat. It's just a fraction, but it might be okay, but I don't think it will be, so. Pencil. I'll just get it off. It won't be a perfect circle. Not the end of the world. I think before I had it at exactly 3 inches, so I'm just going to kind of wing the side to blend. Kind of sort of like that. Yep, that'll work. And then I'll cut it down the middle, hopefully. Think you get it straight? Okay, kind of sort of straight. Alright, so this has to glue there. It's a teeny tiny bit of glue. For this, I don't know if I'm going to use the canopy. I think I'm going to use the canopy because I'm still going on plastic. So I'm going to use the canopy glue. Just a tiny bit. If I can get it to squeeze. There it goes. So put this down. See if it looks somewhat straight. I think it's somewhat straight. And then we'll glue this to this side. This can be art glitter because it's all paper. Alright, it should fit, but I'm going to just make sure first. Yeah, okay. So, you know you didn't clean that art glitter in time. That's all. Complicated. Okay. I'll try that again. A little piece or something. So just a teeny bit over the edge. Not too much. Honestly, you could do as much as you want because it doesn't really affect the card itself. That's on the inside, the workings. Let's see if we got it even. Well, looks pretty even. So I'm just making sure that no glue squeezes anywhere. Alright, so that's our little pull tab. And this is going to go like this. Like this. Like this. Okay. Erase this line. Chalk pencil line there. Okay. So I'm just making sure everything works before I glue. You know, I'm just going to tape it because I can't hold it closed. I'm just double checking this glue. This tape is awful. It's on its last little bit, and it's kind of old. I just wanted to stay close for a second. Okay, let's see. Is it still got to make my little tabby things? All right, it works. So here's what happens. Voila! It's magic. All right, so we just need our little tabs to hold it so it doesn't come all the way out. So I can go ahead and glue this. It seems to work. Seems to work. So we can glue this closed. Make sure nothing's catching. That one little tab is, it's kind of close there. Okay. I just don't want any glue to get on it. Let me put the glue here. A little bit safer. I'm just holding it nice and flat. Do the same thing over here. Make sure nothing is in my glue spot. Oh, that's the white card. Okay, that's fine. And put the glue here. Okay. Now, for my tab, so she just had little like fold over tab, you know, like a piece like this. I was thinking I could use like a grommet or something. I mean, I could just do a fold over tab. It's easier probably, but you know, I like to make things hard. Or I could use just a piece of this. I probably have some. Where'd it go? I don't know where it went. It's here somewhere. I literally just cut it out. You know it has to be here somewhere. Psst. Psst. Oh, it's probably on the floor because I saw it fall earlier. There it is. I could do that. So, and I may do both. I thought about just putting a grommet because I thought it'd be pretty, right? So, you just need a little tab to keep it from coming all the way out. And you want the tab to be, you know, even, but not affect the movement. So it needs to be about that width. So I'm going to cut one of these red pieces from here just because I like it. So one of the red pieces, maybe just about that wide. Work. There, like that one. I spend all my time on one project and figure out how I want it to work. So I'm thinking I can do 3 in the fold there. Where are you, stylus? You were here a minute ago. So do 3. So that's red on both sides. And then, oh my goodness, I can't think. All right, to there. Does that give me enough? I think so. And 1, 2, 3. I put this little silicone mat because it makes your score line work better when you're scoring like this. All right, so there's a couple of tabs. And now I could just do the tabs, or I could throw in a little grommet. Not a grommet, a brad? Is that the right word? Brad. I'm going to put this on here for a second because it's drying fast. think this is where they are, but let me look. Is that the little ones? Yeah, that's the little ones. I have silver, I have gold, and I have like a bronze. I like the bronze. I actually have white too. Maybe I should use the white ones. Hold on. I have white ones that are buttons. I forgot about those. See how big they are. I like those. You know what? We're going to use the buttons. Buttons win. Alright. These little buttons. Put these back in here. I'm just going to poke holes. I guess I could use my brain. I'm going to glue this on first because I want to see where it hits. So this has to be as close to the outside edge as I can get. And I'm going to put the button there. But I want to do it through all of it. So I'm going to glue this on first. Alright. Can you see it all? So, I think you understand what I mean. So I'm just put a little bit of glue on both sides. Now, I could just leave it at that and not do the grommets. They're not necessary. But they'll look cool. Sometimes we just want it to look cool. Alright, so we're going to do that. Tweezers would make this so much easier. Try not to put too much glue. I'm just staying right up on that edge. Just kind of pushing it. And then I'm going to open it and make sure that everything still works properly. Make sure that it's stopping like it's supposed to stop. See, it stops. It goes in. Oh, what are you hitting? I see what it's doing. This little spot right here isn't quite even with the card. Got to be even with the card. That one's pretty good, but we'll trim it a fraction. Okay, let's try that again. Still trying to snag a little bit. Not too bad. Okay, there's that. Now it stops and goes back down. Okay, so we're going to put the little button there. It'll show on the back, but I think I'm going to glue it down, so it doesn't matter. This might be all I get to, guys. How do I want to do it? I think I'll use my... I'm debating if I want to use this or my tiny, tiny punch. Let me think. This is pretty small. Where's my tiny punch? What color is it? Purple? Purple. I'm going to use this one. Alright, I think it'll go through this. So I'm just going to draw a circle. There's a lot of layers here, so who knows if it'll go through that. It might. It might not. Alright, let's see. I did. Amazing. Alright, line that up. Maybe. Okay. Two little holes. Now, these are really just for looks. They're not really doing anything because although it will stop it. Ooh. Let me see if it stops it too soon. No, it's fine. Okay. It's technically going to stop it a little sooner than the top line would, but that's okay because it doesn't really affect anything. So I'm going to make sure that the thing spreads out up and down so that it hides. Okay, like that. They're cute. I'll show you up close if I don't lose my button. Where did it go? Okay. Oh, there. Oh, sorry. Almost dropped it on the floor. All right, put that there. There. So cute. All right. Okay, works good. All right, buttons, see? They're just little tiny little button brads. All right, so here's how it works. So you can get it back in there, right? So not colored. Hold on to it. And magic, it's colored. Not colored. It's not quite smooth, but it's close. It's catching this. I probably don't have it glued down enough, but it's a little fiddly, just a tiny bit. It might get better over time. Maybe if I open it up just a fraction, so it can slide in there better. Trying to see if it's hitting any particular spot. Doesn't seem to be. I think it just catches some. All right. Did it. I did it. Amazing. Okay. And then you can decorate if you want. Which probably should decorate it a little bit. I can get stuff out of my way. So I'll put that other one in my prototype. You know, my idea journal that I have. Throw it in there. All right, let's shove stuff out of the way for now. So there's that. We need something on it to look cute. Where's my stickers? Let's see if there's any stickers on here that'll work. We have Barnyard Tab. I wonder if I could put it there. Huh. Maybe? Maybe? Let's see. I stick it in there. That might work. It might be confusing. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be too confusing. You know what? I'm just going to use it because I think it's cute. We're just going to stick it on there. Alright, so there's that. And then what else do we got? We have not a lot on this left. We have some words here. Anything? This is country. Oh, sunshine. I don't think I have any other words. I could just use the down on the farm. Hold on. I found that spinny thing. Yeah. Oh, oink. Let's see, what else do we got? We have this. We would add just a little bit of something. We have Home Sweet Home. It's a barn, though. I couldn't get the hearts. Just be the words. I don't know. Any other words? Picky dog. Let's see. Any other words? Howdy, that doesn't work. I don't think I have any other words. There's a couple of words in here. I don't remember what they were. Under these Rise and shine, howdy, and on the farm. And country life. I mean, it's green. There is a little green in the picture, I guess. Country life, on the farm. One or the other. I suppose on the farm. Maybe. Country life. I don't know. I guess on the farm. I guess. Anything else in here I can use? Some little flowers. Any red ones? Probably not. No, no red ones. Seed packs I'm using for something else, so I don't want to use those. Radishes, don't want to use those. And boots. I don't think I want to use any boots. There's a heart. It's kind of dark. I mean, I could put it on there, I guess. I'm debating on putting something behind on the farm word, though. What could I put that would make it blend better? Anything? That doesn't do it. I don't really have anything. I guess technically it would just look like stitching, kinda. I don't know if I could get one of the hearts kind of centered. Where would that hit? I could make it hit about there. So the hearts are close to the edge. Let's see. Right here. Right here. Who knows if this will be straight, but we will attempt. Where the big scissors go? I can't cut a straight line with little ones. I'm gonna take off the little bit of white there. My cutting's horrible. I'll fix it. It's just still showing some white. Okay, that'll work. All right, so let's do that. Glue that. I think I got it kind of good. Well, if I don't get to anything else, I'll get to it next time, right? Because it's already getting late. I can hear them getting restless for food out there. They're being very patient, waiting for me. Kind of, sort of. They're kind of being patient. All right, let me get these stickers out of the way. So I guess we'll get to the other stuff next time because this took me way too long. As usual. Still ended up with a little bit of white there. I can get rid of it with this red pencil. Kind of, sort of. You all probably can't even see it. There is a little bit of white there. That's a little better. Should I put the heart here? I mean, I guess it's something. It's a little, blends a little, but I think it's okay. Why not? We will put it in there. words, I guess. Does it need the words? I mean, honestly, it's kind of cute without it. Should I just leave them off? The green's kind of weird. I might just leave it off. I'll use it somewhere else. I don't like the color. If it was a different color, I'd use it, but it's not, so. I have a red country, but it's kind of small. Yeah, we'll just leave it. I think it's cute like this. All right. Leave it like that. How do you like this? Do you like this project, guys? I'm not seeing any chat today, but it is late. And who knows if my iPad's showing chat and nothing else is. Nope, I don't see any on my iPad either, so. All right, that's fine. Anyway, let's get it glued into a page. I don't know where we're going to put it exactly. Where did I say? Somewhere around here. So, was it in the back? Cute pull out. Thank you. Okay. I think we said like here. Here. I'm just going to glue it to the page. You can just put it in a pocket, but I think glued down it'll be fine. I don't think it needs, it's hard to hold it and tell, but I think it'll be fine. It's a little fun, you know, fiddly. All right, y'all like this page on that side or better here? It's a little busy because of the tab. I didn't think about it being the same color, honestly. I could put it here, or I could put it here. It'll make all of this go together, but I don't think it's too bulky. All right, so those are my choices. Here, maybe just, I'm gonna keep it low because that way you can pull it. Here, or here. I'm trying to look at I'm looking at the picture on my iPhone. I think it might be better on the solid red. Anybody gonna say anything? Y'all will say something after I decide, because that's usually what happens. All right, take the solid red. I'm giving y'all just a minute to see if you say anything. Pretty sure Angela's still here. It looks like Deborah's here. What do you think, Deborah? Deborah or Angela is the only two people I see on here. So on the red page or on the plaid page? What do you think? Y'all aren't saying anything. On the solid red. Thank you, Deborah. I appreciate it. I hate having to make decisions. I want y'all to make the decisions for me. All right, there. All right, so we're going to glue this down somewhere kind of near the bottom. And we're just going to glue it down. How firmly? I don't know. I guess we should put it fairly firm. Probably. So it doesn't move or cause issues. And we only got to one thing, but that's all right. It happens. Sometimes I just don't get to more. All right. Right about there, I think's good. Make sure it glues down. Okay, so let's see how it works. I was going to give it a second to dry, and then I can go cook dinner for everybody. Not what I want to do at almost 11 o'clock. All right, so we go. So we go from not colored to colored. It's cute, right? Kind of looks more 3D too because the get in there, because the line art. Okay, ta-da. All right, that's our project for today. I will be back Wednesday, I think. Here's the deal. I'm babysitting. I don't know which day it is. I know I'm babysitting Monday for sure, and I'm either babysitting Wednesday or Thursday or possibly Friday. So I'm not going to say anything for sure, but possibly Wednesday. I will let y'all know. All right. So take care. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I will see you guys next time. All right. Bye-bye.